Hi, I'm Joleen Lunzer.
And I'm Sarah Atwood.
We're YouTubers.
We're entertainment and pop culture fanatics.
But most importantly, we're friends.
Good Pop is a weekly podcast where we chat about pop culture, entertainment, life, and share some good news stories.
Because right now, we could all use some good in our lives.
So sit back, relax, and get some of this good pop.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Good Pop Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Joleen Lunzer, and I'm here with my co-host, Sarah Atwood. Sarah, how are you doing?
Hello. I am exhausted. How are you?
I am so exhausted. You can probably see from my eyes. I'm just like tight. I was going to sleep in today, and then I realized I edited a video till late last night, and I fell asleep thinking, okay, Chell was up doing homework. When he wakes up, I always hear him when he comes in. So I'll wake up, then I'll post my video because it's exporting or whatever it's doing. Mm-hmm. And then I slept right through it. And I woke up at like 9, but I went to bed at like 3. Yeah. And the night before I got like no sleep. So then I was putting up my Big Brother video. So my words aren't going to make sense today.
Right. I feel like today's episode should have a disclaimer. It's like we're CPAs and this is tax time. Like we entered Big Brother this week. This is our busiest time of the year. I think we have to like reestablish sleep patterns and we might just be zombies today.
Yes, I think that's the perfect example of we're just so smart. We're just tax people.
Just
like tax season. And instead of like doing math and taxes and things, we are watching people live their lives 24/7 on live feeds on Big Brother 22. If you are listening
so similar
later. Yeah. And you don't know what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. It's Big Brother 22 season and it's come a little late, but it's here. So
it's here, you guys.
I have a little bit of, it's not much of a story, but that people, what they're saying about this season of Big Brother 22. So thank you to everyone joining us live in the chat.
Welcome.
Yes, we love to see you. We love to see Mama Bev here. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. And if you can, hit the share it out on your social media, your Twitter, your Instagram.
Let people know that you're taking a Big Brother break and hanging out with us.
Exactly. It'll be fun. All right, Sarah, let's do some check-ins. I know we're all, Big Brother, but what's going on in your life?
Yeah, Big Brother. Okay, so so much excitement this week. So excited for the premiere, getting to see these all-stars, watching them live on the feeds. There was a day this week that I said, Joleen, no, I'm not going to stay up all night watching the feeds. Like, it's a marathon. I'm going to be responsible about it. And what did I do? The exact opposite. Honestly, watching these people on the feeds and listening to them talk about their past seasons is so entertaining. I mean, it's what we do. We talk about all these seasons, and here they are reliving and recounting it. And it just sucks you in. And so I've been staying up all night, every night. And yesterday, Friday, I slept till noon. But that's
good for you. That's
up
good though.
Every night this week. So yeah, I think my body's trying to catch up on some sleep. But so for a minute I was like, can we even do Good Pop? I was texting Joleen. I was like, I don't know. My brain might be gone. But then when I start thinking about like what we prepare for this show, it kind of does get me invigorated and, gets me feeling all positive again.
Yeah. And the minute Sarah texted me, I was like, sure, you don't want to do it? Like, sure. I'm so exhausted. But then I forget that, like, I honestly am thinking of, I think I kind of use this podcast as a little bit of self-therapy because it really is very nice and positive. And I just love collaborating with you, Sarah. I can't say enough about you. And it's just fun. And I love everyone who joins us. So it is definitely...
It's a good little break. And I think we have to remember that
we're on episode 13.
Ooh, lucky number 13.
Yes, very lucky.
So how was your week? How did you survive?
Oh my gosh, I don't know how I've survived. I wish that I didn't have other shows. I love my other shows. I watch 90 Day Fiancé, Bravo. But let me tell you, Joleen is pressed. And I did it to myself. I have no one to blame.
Yes. I got a YouTube alert that Jolene's live about one of her other Real Housewives, and I was like, what are you doing?
Sarah joined the chat only to say there's
Only
other
to say-
TV on.
I don't think there's other TV right now. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so I think I'm overwhelmed. I think I need sleep. I also love that Big Brother's back. I'm having a little bit of a struggle with, I think because they're sharing all of their past seasons and stuff, I'm learning a lot about these players. Not to the beginning, you guys will talk a little Big Brother, just because it's what's going on in our life. It's our life update. So last season, here's the deal. Last season was so easy for me to not watch, but I'm very opinionated. And there are some channels that don't go the opinionated route, and everyone has their own way of doing it. You know what I mean? You have like a Mad Rose D, and they are great because they will tell you exactly what's happening. Now, how I found fun in this is doing impressions and kind of throwing shade and stuff. But last year was easy because some of these people were very toxic and they weren't nice. This season, I'm struggling a little bit because I see human sides of these people. And as a comedian, I'm always cognizant. Am I kicking down? Am I kicking down? Am I kicking down? And I'm also someone who's just so like, you have to really, as a woman, be pretty bad for me to make fun of you. Like last year, Holly Beth. And that was and Christy, we did the crying and stuff, but whatever. But this year, I found myself making fun or doing impressions of Nicole Franzel. And Sarah and I have different opinions on that. But I'm I'm having this inner struggle, and maybe Mama Bev can tell me how this fits in my chart, or you can. But I see this vulnerability in Nicole that I almost feel it's kicking down. Because I want to make fun of her in a good way, where I'm doing her accent because it's Michigan, I'm Minnesota, and we're having fun. But I don't want to shame her. I want to be able to have my opinion about her gameplay, but I don't want to pile up on someone who might not be able to handle this when this is all over. And I saw a clip recently, and I think you saw it too, Sarah, about another broadcaster who's known for being mean to house guests and people on TV. And that's not what I want my channel to be about, but I also want to be able to make fun. So I'm trying to find the balance in where that lies. Which is hard.
I love this. Well, first off, this feels like growth, whatever it is. Feels like growth, and you're evolving. I'm going to take so much credit because I feel like I'm making some sort of impression on you
it's
influencing you. That's just my pure selfishness. But I love it because I think it's great to laugh and joke about some of the stuff that these house guests do. But we don't ever really want to personally attack.
Yes, I want to keep it game with Nicole and just make it about what she said, which I'm trying to do, but I don't know if I'm succeeding. And so I just put out my first live feeds and spoilers, and then I went back and watched it, and I'm like, it's just, it's a battle. So, and I think here's the weird thing about how life is and how you relate to someone is I relate a lot to Nicole's emotional vulnerability because I'm emotional. So me making fun of Nicole and doing this video and having fun with it led to me then the next day crying about feeling bad about making fun. I don't know if you guys can tell, but my eyes are puffy. And I was telling Charlie, he's like, what's wrong? I'm like, it just last year we were dealing with like these awful people who were bullies. And now it's not that. So I want it to be funny, but I don't want to ever be the reason someone is out there going, I feel horrible about myself. Because this girl, not that I have that much power, but I think as humans, we kind of do. And our words are powerful. But as a comedian, I also don't want to be censored. So I'm like,
I know it's tough. I remember when Meech was in the house and she cried so much.
I did
and
like her.
People would make fun of how much she cried, but I thought that's exactly how I would be in the house. She was a super fan who thought she was going to come in playing this great game, and then she collapsed while she was in the house. I was like, that would be me 100%. So yes, let's laugh about it, but we're all human and we're not as perfect as we'd like to be.
Yes, and the things, usually the faults that infuriate you the most in other people, and I'm not saying like racism and things like that because that infuriates everybody, but the little faults are the things that infuriate you about yourself. So I'm able to be like self-aware to know that maybe part of that is things that maybe make me upset or the things in myself. And Megan's asking, are you talking about the co-host combo? Yes, I am. There's a combo on the feeds. I'll be totally transparent about that, about another co-host who.
Yeah, I certainly don't ever want to be a co-host or a host that people are hating.
Well, Sarah, your channel does not, you wouldn't be that. That's not your style. We all have different styles and things like that. So I want to be able to be funny in comedy, but I do have a conscience, and I do, especially when it comes to young women and young women starting their life. And I never want to be someone who drags that, especially someone who I know this person deals with a lot of anxiety and such.
Yes,
and
they do.
I as well, many of us do. So I'm just cognizant of that. So I think going forward, I'm thinking out loud here, you guys. Just I keep it to game. I hope I kept it to game. I don't think I always have, and maybe I'll just be more cognizant of that going forward.
Yes, and we won't hold you to have to be perfect. This is something you're working on, and you're talking about it, and you're being honest. So it's great that you're going through it. We're going to support you, and if you aren't perfect with it, you're just going to work through it.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's good.
Also, Birdie is saying congrats, Joleen, for 10K. And I don't know if we've talked about it on Good Pop, so I want to make sure we bring it up.
Yes, Birdie. I love you. Birdie is so fantastic and always just, you guys all are. You're so sweet to us, and how you share our stuff and you send us these kind messages, and it means the world. So
Joleen is famous, you guys. She's huge. Big time.
Let me just say, I am prepared, like, not famous, but as your subs grow,
there's a dark side to the fame, Joleen.
It is like, what did this person just say to me?
A lot more people know about you. That's what I forget what the saying is, but it was like, once you start getting hate comments, you're like, oh, okay, now I'm growing. So not to take those personally, it just means, oh, okay, I'm out there on a platform of people who don't know me. Yeah. So unfortunately, the downside of that is you get negative comments.
Well, in a, like a self-awareness thing, I do realize that I'm a channel besides Good Pop, our show here, where I am critical of other people. And so for me to be so naive to be like, you can't be critical of me, that's very hypocritical. So I get that people are going to, have opinions of me.
And remember, none of us are for everybody.
No. None of us. And that's what Davon told Bailey before this season on Twitter. So yeah.
Nick F isn't for everyone. Sarah isn't for everyone. Jolene's not for everyone. What are we going to do?
You know who is for everyone? Mama Bev.
Mama Bev's for everyone. In that chat supporting us like a true mom.
Thank you, Mama Bev. Speaking of Mama Bev, I need an astrology update.
Okay. Got it. Like always, there's a few things here. Okay. We got Mars in Aries. But Mars in Aries is squaring Pluto in Capricorn. Squaring means that they are aligning up in a certain way. My mom just wanted me to say mixing it up, but it's called squaring. It's going to be exactly the square on Thursday the 13th. Thank goodness that's not Friday the 13th. But here's the energies that we're going to be feeling about it. So Mars in Aries is all about action, taking risks, taking initiative. We're doing something, right? Pluto in Capricorn is about transformation, reforming, and it's about existing systems and practices, current structures, rules, laws, and power, the way that power is being used. So honestly, this seems to be lining up with some of the other stuff that we've been talking about and all the social awareness that we've been going through as a world over these last few months. We're going to still feel, and strongly this week, this fire to take this action, to take this initiative about reforming and transforming these power structures and who's in power and what these systems that we've had in place.
Oh, that was deep.
Right?
Yes.
But like, it's not surprising that people are like really deeping down about social injustice and stuff. Like, this is in the air, you guys. Like, universally, we have so many different things lining up. That's just going to make us scream. And not to go back to Big Brother, but if you guys heard Kaser talking, was it last night? I mean, I'm running all my days together now, but
it was
just
a
talking
few
about
nights
like,
ago.
you know, of course we have to get loud because no one heard us when we were just like talking normal and whispering. They didn't hear. So now we're yelling. And that's exactly what Mars and Aries would be about. But there's also a cute little tidbit I have to throw in here that my mom, probably just for Joleen, wanted you to know that today, August 8th, is called the Lion's Gate, which is an ancient symbol of power relating to the star Sirius. Like Sirius Radio. There's a star called Sirius.
Or Sirius Black.
And that it's like rising up to the horizon or something. Anyway, Sirius is also called the Dog Star because it's like a dog. And Keanu Reeves, his band, is Dog Star. He's the bassist in Dog Star.
Oh my gosh. And I should know this, being a Keanu super fan. But I mostly just like looking at him.
Right. And you probably just wouldn't have put it together that it was like an astrological thing.
See, me and Mama Bev, we get it. Like that Keanu reference, that was awesome. Tied in with astrology.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Yep. Because I think it was the three of us, and I shared with you guys, or I put it on my story of Keanu Reeves, literally, you guys, obviously pre-pandemic, but he's Keanu Reeves. And he's on a subway sitting down, just totally natural. So this is a good news story. And he's just sitting there and someone's filming him because when you're at that level, someone unfortunately is always filming you. And he's just, riding the subway. And then a woman comes in and he goes, "Would you like to sit down?" She says, "Yes, thank you." And he stands up and it's like, the littlest thing.
Jam-packed subway. And I was like, I don't think that woman even knows who just told, like, do you want to sit here? Because she was like, yes. And she didn't even act phased. And I was like, I'd be like, no, you sit. Like, I probably would have freaked out.
Exactly. I mean, it's like Neo just gave you a seat on the train, his seat. I would be rubbing the seat. It's like, I like this. What does it smell like? He would be like, "What are you doing?" Like, "Nothing." But obviously pre-pandemic, now you can't do that kind of stuff.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Very, very different world. But yes, watching the feeds, there's been a lot of, social discussions, and it's just been beautiful to see these people even discuss autism and just like, civil rights and the pandemic and also watch people in a bubble discussing what we've been going through.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
It is. And it's just just a gift that we have some people who are evolved and talking about it on a decent level. Is that the way to phrase it? They're just all
a civil level. So civil. Yeah. And willing to listen to each other, which is so weird for reality TV.
Oh my God. My mom's comment. "You sit, I'll sit on your lap." Beverly.
Bev. Oh my gosh, Bev, more reasons to love Mama Bev.
But you're right. That is the way to do it. We're over here like, sit, not sit. I'll just sit on your lap.
How Sarah's face is turning red from her mom's. "Mama Bev, I'm with you." I'd be like, "You sit, I'll sit on your lap. I'll take it one step further, spider style." And me and Mama Bev are going to perv out.
You're like, "Can I just curl up in your lap? Can I lean on your shoulder?"
For real. Oh my gosh. That was so funny, Bev. Oh gosh.
That was a good one.
Gotta love it. All right. Let's get to some pop culture stories, celebrity stories. Sarah, do you want to start with something?
Sure. Okay. So last night, Douglas threw something at me and I was like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "I think they're doing a Saved by the Bell reboot." And I was like, "No, they're not. What are you talking about?" So he went and found the trailer and I was like, "What?" And this morning I spent all morning researching it because I was like, we have to talk about this. First off, it falls into our 90s thing that we can't stop talking about. But you guys, there is it's not a reboot. It is a sequel series, Saved by the Bell. It's on the Peacock streaming service. They already shot it earlier in the year. They had to stop shooting like right at the end. So they need to do a few more like pickup scenes. But then it will air on Peacock. And it's hilarious. The trailer's actually really good. Watch it. I'm shocked and surprised at how I'm actually interested in this show. California Governor Zach Morris. I'm where it starts.
The article right now as you say this. Oh my gosh.
AC Slater is back. He's like coach or something at the school. I can't say the school because it's coming up in your quiz later. You're getting a quiz. Okay. At the school, and there is a student at the school of Zach and Kelly Kapowski. They have a child who's attending the school. And also Jessie, played by Elizabeth Berkley, she's back. And she has a kid who's at the high school as well. Because in the trailer, there's this great scene with AC Slater talking to the two sons. And he's like, I broke up with this girl. Oh, wait, that's your mom. And then I started dating this other girl. Wait, that's your mom. And it was just hilarious. Lisa and Screech are not in it, and they're feeling a bit slighted about it. That's out there on the internet.
Wow.
Also, Mark Paul, side note, Mark Paul Gosselaar is doing a new podcast called Zach to the Future, where he's going to go back and watch Saved by the Bell episodes for the first time ever.
Well, he's never watched
them? Yeah, he's never watched the series. Like he said when he was a kid shooting them, he saw some episodes, but never since has he watched the series. So he's going to start watching the series and podcast about it. So that sounds very fun as well.
Oh my gosh. That is what Angela and Pam, the character names from The Office, they have a podcast where they rewatch The Office because they're best friends in real life now. And what a great idea.
Real life, yes.
Yeah. And so for fans, what a great idea to watch. I would love if Sarah Michelle Gellar would get with like Allison Hannigan and they would do a rewatch and just break down, or Cordelia Chase, aka Charisma Carpenter, and break down my favorite show like that. Oh my gosh, Sarah, that is amazing. So
Isn't that so fun?
Kelly's coming back? Zach?
No. Yeah, Kelly and Zach, Mark Paul and Amber, Tiffany Amber. Which one does she go by? Tiffany Thiessen? Yeah.
Tiffany Thiessen?
Because she dropped the middle. Tiffany Amber Thiessen, but she's now just Tiffany Thiessen. Which, by the way, I just, during the pandemic, started watching Suits, and she's on that as an adult. And that's a really fun show, by the way, with Matt Bomer.
Is Meghan Markle in Suits?
No, that was a different one.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what she was in. Wait, no, she was in Suits. I'm watching White Collar. I don't know what I'm watching. White Collar. You're right. Meghan Markle was in Suits. Never seen it. This one is different. Okay. Yes. So here's your quiz. How well do you know Saved by the Bell?
Well, okay. Quick, I digress. Megan Stevens says, oh my gosh, I heard there might be a Buffy reboot. Is it true? I heard that too. And I also heard that Buffy was going to be possibly a woman of color. So that to me is really interesting, seeing like a different take. And also there wasn't a lot of diversity in the 90s on Buffy, I'll tell you that. Here's a fun little Saved by the Bell fact about Joleen and Saved by the Bell. Saved by the Bell would air Saturday mornings, I believe. And my mom, AKA Nana, was going through boxes as she does. And she likes to mail me things that I did when I was younger. She keeps everything to remind me that I've always been a very interesting person and child. There was one Saturday that Saved by the Bell, I'll have to read the letter one time on the podcast, did not air. I wrote a letter. I think I was 10, 9, 11, something like that, between 9 and 11, about how disappointed I was in NBC and their programming. Yes. And how I wake up every Saturday. It was like a Karen letter. Like I was very much in NBC's business, and like, how dare you preempt or not air it when I, Joleen Lunzer in St. Paul, Minnesota, need it. So my mom sent me this letter. Me and Chell read it, and Chell's like, oh my gosh, you were like a crazy kid. I'm like, yes.
That's amazing.
So I would say I'm a big fan. I know more about Buffy, but my brother is the ultimate Saved by the Bell pop quiz person. Like, he will go to trivia nights at bars where they have Saved by the Bell trivia. He's really good at this. So we'll see how I'll do, but I loved the show. Loved the show.
Yeah, I definitely watched all of it because it did start as like a Saturday morning thing, but then it became a primetime show. Then, they had 1,000 like reboot spinoffs. They went to college years. They went to like Hawaii, Bahamas. I don't remember all of them, but I watched all of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that I'd remember everything too, but I did watch them all in the 90s at the time. And Zach Morris was 100% one of my crushes as a kid.
Oh my gosh, he was so cute.
So cute. So cute. Yes. Okay. So my first question is, what is their school and mascot?
Okay. Well, they are Bayside High School, and their mascot is the Tigers. Bayside Tigers.
Yes. Go Bayside Tigers. Woo!
I also did go to the pop-up in Los Angeles off of Santa Monica Boulevard.
Did they have one?
Yes, when my brother was in town, and him and his wife came to visit Chell and I, and it was for their wedding anniversary. I took them there. And they loved it. So, yes. Mm-hmm.
I have a Bayside Tigers t-shirt that I should have had here to show you, but
I need
anyway.
to get one. Mm-hmm.
Okay, this one's harder. Do you remember their rival? What high school that was? And or their mascot?
Yes, I remember like them talking about it all the time. So okay, Bayside versus, can I get a hint?
Well, think LA. Like what are geographical areas in LA?
Our geographical areas in LA.
If they're Bayside, which is basically near the ocean.
Valley is
yes.
Valley, because it was always like Bayside. Oh my God, Valley. And
Valley
the Valley
High
kids would come in like, we're from Valley. And Bayside would be like,
yeah.
Beep, 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 go Bayside. Beep, 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 beep.
Go Bayside. That's right. Yeah, Valley High Bulldogs. I remember like every once in a while someone will say something about, because I live in the Valley, people will be like Valley High, and I'm like, go Bayside.
Yep.
Not everyone understands things I say, but that's real life.
Yeah, and they shouldn't.
Okay, this one you have to get, or we end this podcast immediately.
Oh no.
Which 90210 star had a guest role on Saved by the Bell?
Tori Spelling. She was Violet Bickerstaff. Yeah, she was Violet Bickerstaff. She was a huge nerd. She was like a love interest to Screech. She was adorable.
Mm-hmm. There we go. See, we don't have to end the podcast.
Yay.
Of course you know it. Do you know what AC stands for when we're talking about AC Slater?
Alfred Clifford. Clifford.
So that's close. Albert
Clifford. Ah, darn it.
Oh, wow. I did not remember that one. That's good. Do you remember what Zach said to like stop the show? And then he would talk to the audience, and then we'd go back to the show. I'm going to give you multiple choice.
Okay, thank you.
Freeze, time out, or pause.
Time out.
Time out. Yay, I think you aced that quiz. I wasn't keeping track. 100%.
Is that it?
You aced it. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I want like 72 more questions. I was just like, I'm getting into it. Do you remember, Sarah? There was a girl band on Saved by the Bell. They put the girls together, and it was the episode where Jessie was so excited and she took caffeine pills. Do you remember the name of the girl band that Lisa, Kelly, and Jessie were in? When Jessie was like, no, I can sing. Zacky's like, you can't sing, Jessie. She's like, I can too. I'm so excited. I'm so scared. And their song was, here's a message that I'm sending to you. You can do what you want to do. A little never hurt no one. It's the only way to get things done. Put your mind to it. Go for it. Get down and break a sweat. Rock and roll. You ain't did nothing. Okay, that's a little much, Joleen.
Wow. No, I don't remember any of that or what the girl band's name was.
It was Hot Sunday. Hot Sunday. That's like my favorite band name.
I can't tell you how many times I do that. I'm so excited. I'm so scared. I do that all the time.
I mean, Elizabeth Barkley killed it.
It's iconic. That scene, iconic.
Over caffeine pills, which, if you jazz yourself up with caffeine, your emotions are going to be all over the place.
Look, we needed to learn that at like 14 or however old we were. Mm-hmm. Don't take caffeine pills to study, you guys. How about the theme song?
Oh, yeah.
When the alarm goes off in the morning.
And the alarm goes off in the morning. I don't think I'll ever make it on time. By the time I get my
books and I give myself a look, I'm at the corner just in time to see the bus drive.
It's all right.
Because I'm safe by the bell.
Okay.
Okay, iTunes listeners, was that horrific or was it just terrible? You let us know, please, in the reviews.
Both. Mostly me, because Sarah has like a theater and musical theater background. And
Yeah, that just sounded like we were both just like speaking. That's what that was.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right, your turn.
Oh, I was like, I'm just waiting for more segments. Like, I will sit here forever and wait for Sarah to give me another. Okay, so I know that you love Kristen Wiig, right? So she recently shared her experience with surrogacy because she had kids, and we said that she had a baby. I think she had twins. Yes, her twins. And so she opened up about how she feels like she's a different person now. And I thought it was just beautiful because this is the first time she's really opened up publicly about the very long road that led to the birth of her twins in January. Though she chose to keep the process private because we had no idea until they released it. The actress has now shared her journey of motherhood and experience with their surrogacy in an interview for the September 2020 issue of InStyle. So look for that interview. And she said, ultimately, I realized that I'm very fortunate. I'm grateful. I'm a different person now. So it was like after being together for about 2 years, she and her fiance began trying to conceive and spent 3 years in what she described as IVF haze, like an IVF haze, which I've heard before from other women. She said, emotionally, spiritually, and medically, it was probably the most difficult time in my life. I wasn't myself. There are so many emotions that go with it, and you're always waiting by the phone, getting the results, and it's just bad news after bad news. She said she experienced a lot of self-deprecation as a result of negative tests during IVF, and that it's hard not to, when you're going through that, to personalize it. And you feel like your partner may be seeing you in a different way. And I know that she is older than her partner, and I'm older than my husband as well. So those are just fears, I think, that we carry as women because we are kind of conditioned to be like your goal ultimately is to, what'd you say? What'd you say? You're still hot. You're still hot. Thank you, Chell. Chell said I'm still hot. Your goal as women, they kind of, that's still that kind of antiquated thing is like, be a mother. Make sure you're fertile. There's this certain thing that goes along with your womanhood that I wish we could break away from finally, because not every woman is meant to carry a child or be a mother. We're just meant to live our lives and be ourselves and pick what we want to do. So it was just really beautiful how initially she rejected the idea of surrogacy. She didn't want to do it before realizing she needed help. And then she went on to become really close with her amazing surrogate, who was also experiencing the process for the first time. So they kind of went through it together. And I
kind of feel like she should have used me as her surrogate since we look alike.
Right?
Oh, missed opportunity right there.
I am looking at her right now again, and you guys
literally will not have a child for myself, but if Kristen Wiig calls me,
I know, right?
I will have your baby for you.
It's a beautiful story. And I think I saw a similar story like this on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, which I'm obsessed with my Bravo shows. And Candy, one of the housewives of Atlanta, she had a surrogate and they became really like friendly. And some people said, maybe you don't want to become this friendly, but how can you not when you have this woman who's carrying your, child? So
I bet those are lots of gray lines and areas and like who knows how to really behave in that situation. But gosh, yeah, I would want to be best friends with the person carrying my child for sure.
Right. And just what a gift that person's giving. I think we sometimes, I myself forget like what a gift it is for someone to be your surrogate. That is a huge, huge thing to do for someone. And
my sister and I made that promise to each other that if either one of us needed that we would do it for each other.
You know what? Maybe I'll ask my sister-in-law because she's younger and fertile. And if I ever want a baby, which I seem to be like just yelling at Chell all the time, like time to make a baby. And he's like, no, because we have a plan that we'll most likely adopt down the road, which I really like that idea. And if we don't, we don't. But that's kind of what we have in our head. But there are days where I'm like, I want to carry this baby. I don't know if it's hormonal or instinctual.
It's biological. That is literally a biological thing in women. From what I hear, I missed it, but everyone else says it's a thing. So I believe that.
Yes. Well, exactly. And that's how women, like, we have layers. We're all different. We don't all have the same feelings. Isn't that amazing? It's amazing.
It is amazing. That's why we support each other and we don't force anything on anybody. Okay, well, kind of similar ish is relationship based. Demi Lovato got engaged about a month ago to her boyfriend Max Ulrich, is maybe how you say his name. After they had been dating for 4 months. They had just started dating and then lockdown happened. And so they were quarantining together. And I guess it was going so well that after 4 months, he bought her a massive rock, and proposed to her. And they're so in love and so happy. He's an actor from Young and the Restless, apparently. But I'm mostly bringing this up because when I was a server, I waited on her.
You waited on everyone, Sarah. I'm so jealous.
So when I see a news item about someone that I've met, I'm like, ooh, I'll talk about that one so I can say that I waited on her. And she was very, very lovely. I have nothing negative to say about her. She was super polite. And Joleen, she sat in the same spot you did.
It's a sign, Sarah. It is a sign. Like, everyone that we love sits in. So this is them.
Yep, that's them. And look at that rock. It's like huge in a picture. Then you know it's really big.
I'm trying to like zoom. Oh, so she did it in a little Instagram post too. They are so cute. He looks like, I know we're only seeing him from the side, but he looks a lot like the guy from Glee, and then was also in Ryan Murphy's show about Gianni Versace. Okay, no.
Yes, but they do look similar.
Oh, he's a cutie. And she's just, I mean, what I love about Demi Lovato is she's so vulnerable and she uses her platform to help people with addiction issues, mental health. And she is such a talent. Her voice is amazing.
Yeah, so she's super talented. She's been through some stuff and she came out the other side and is able to talk about it, which is great. And when she came into the restaurant and I was waiting on her, I did, of course, recognize her immediately as I was like, hi, what can I get for you? And I was like, oh my God, you're Demi Lovato. I didn't say that. I just thought it in my head. But she was with another gentleman and it sounded like she was kind of talking him into going into rehab. She was talking about rehab a lot and how such a wonderful experience it is. And she was kind of explaining the logistics of how it works. It sounded like she was trying to get him to move in that direction. I'm not sure who he was. He didn't seem recognizable to me. But her security guy, she had this guy that was there for security. I didn't see her walk in. She's at the table and I'm serving her. But there's this guy sitting on the bench where you would wait for your, to go. If you came in and ordered to go, you'd sit down and wait there kind of in the front. And he just kept sitting there. And I was like, can I help you? He's like, no, I'm good. And so I just didn't understand why he was there. And I kept I popped back a couple times just to be like, do you need a water? Why are you sitting in my restaurant? I just didn't understand what was happening. But it wasn't until she got up to leave that I saw that he casually got up and walked with her. And I was like, oh, he was her security.
It makes a lot of sense because these actors and these high profile singers and things like that. I mean, I can't imagine the interesting folks that hit them up and scare them.
Yeah.
I'm glad that she came. I'm trying to find out how old he is and how old she is. I guess I could just Google that.
She's 27. I did see that. And I think he's similar. He's around that age.
Okay. Yeah. I was just wondering, because I'm like, man, Demi Lovato, I mean, she's still so young, obviously, but good for them. What a good story. I love that.
Best wishes to them.
Yes. New Dawn saying, I loved Demi and Wilmer though. And I remember they dated.
Oh, did they date?
They did. They dated a long time. Yeah, I don't know tons about their relationship, but I do know they were together for quite a bit of time. Okay. So, in other news, in Friends news, because I found it because Sarah. Everything the Friends cast, according to Us Weekly, has said about the upcoming reunion special. So apparently, they're on a break, and I think you reported this before, but it will soon be over. The highly anticipated Friends reunion special, which was originally set to be released in May when HBO Max debuted, has been delayed due to the coronavirus pandemic. However, the cast seems to be just as excited about stepping onto the stage together as the fans are, which is so nice that these people are friends with each other. The Friends are friends. Sarah.
They are. Mm-hmm.
We are hoping to be able to shoot in August if all is well and there is no early second wave and the studio is open. Co-creator Marta Kaufman told The Wrap in June. However, in August, the streamer delayed the production again, pushing film back to the fall at the earliest. So the reunion is going to include all 6 cast members. Yes. Which is awesome, as well as Kaufman, 63, and co-creator David Crane. Have you ever met any of the co-creators or anything behind the scenes stuff?
I wish.
I'm just curious, like as an actress, like maybe you worked on another project they had or something.
I wouldn't have survived if I had. I would have been like, oh my God, it's Marta Kaufman. It wouldn't have been pretty.
That would be me with like, if I was in a writer's room with any of the Buffy writers, I would just be like,
yes.
Oh yeah, can you tell me everything? So yeah, the show, I didn't know it consisted of 236 episodes. It's a lot of episodes, 1994 to 2000.
You didn't realize it's 10 seasons.
I just don't think, I think in 10 seasons, but that's a lot of episodes.
Oh yeah.
Although many details about the special have yet to be announced, the cast has spoken out about it many times since the news broke. And, they're all saying they can't wait. Courtney Cox went on the Hiking with Ken YouTube series and explained she's extremely excited. We're going to have the best time. She was even talking about it in February. Matt LeBlanc, same thing. Obviously, my favorite, Lisa Kudrow. I just think she's just a genius in everything she does.
Yeah.
And she said, look, we're all incredibly grateful. And we all knew it then and we know it now. That was such a unique situation. The comeback creator told Entertainment Weekly in May, we all loved each other and genuinely had so much fun and laughed for 10 years every day. We're very grateful when we have been able to get together. I think that's maybe twice, and not even all of us. Some people remember stuff the rest of us don't always remember, and then it's fantastic. It's like you're being introduced to something that everybody else knows and you forgot. Most of the cast have revealed that the show is not scripted. I thought that was really interesting. But
no, the reunion show is not going to be scripted, as in like they're not playing their characters again.
Is it kind of like the 90210 reboot where they're playing them?
No, I think it's going to be, from what it sounds like, they're going to be like talking about the episodes, talking about the experience, talking about their characters. They're not going to be doing like scripted scenes of Friends.
Oh, that's even better for fans.
Yeah, I think they all were just kind of like, we're, older. We're just not going to like step into those shoes again. But like they want to support and like do a reunion, but just not play the characters again, which I'm fine with too. Cause like I'm a purist of like, that was my 10 seasons. Like we don't need to mess with it,
You'd hate to have it come back and then it just not be good.
It'll never be like Will and Grace. That was just perfect. Their comeback was so good, but nothing else is going to be able to do that. I don't think
it's hard to do that. So yeah, Jennifer Aniston did speak out recently because it was delayed again this month in August. And she said, unfortunately, it's very sad that we had to move it again. She told Deadline, admitting it's not a safe time, which I think is so responsible to shoot with a studio full of people. But she insisted that when they do finally get together in front of a camera, it's going to be super.
It's so fun. Because they have been kind of talking about this over the last few months, and they each have different perceptions of their time and the episodes. So like Courtney Cox did a rewatch during the pandemic with her daughter, was like, let's just watch the series Friends.
She did?
Yeah. And then there was an Actors Talk to Actors, something, I don't remember who was doing it, like Vanity Fair, Vogue, I don't remember. But Jennifer Aniston and Lisa Kudrow were talking to each other and they were just laughing about past episodes. And it's just like, watching these Big Brother people talking about Big Brother. It's so much fun to watch them. No joke, you guys. The episode where Phoebe and her fire alarm, where it's just Phoebe's storyline. No one else is in it. It's just Phoebe and her fire alarm keeping her up all night. And Jen remembered it. And she said something about like, I just remember fire alarm, smoke alarm. And Phoebe was like, I'm pretty sure that's made up. Phoebe, I just called her Phoebe, whatever. She was like, it's made up. And she was like, no, I just remember like Lisa couldn't remember the episode and it was her storyline. And then eventually Jen said something that like clicked and Lisa was like, oh my God, yes, the firefighters came. And I was just like, what? This is insane. This conversation that I'm watching right now. It was so good.
Oh, that's amazing. I love it. I'd love to hear that behind the scenes, like you said, with Big Brother and stuff. Just anytime something that meant so much to so many people and they come together to talk about it and break it down. It's really cool.
Can you imagine not remembering these episodes? Like, you know everything about Buffy. I know everything about Friends. But what if those actors don't remember it? That's hilarious.
And they don't. Because even seeing interviews that Sarah Michelle Gellar's done or the other cast members, some, like you said, will remember things and they'll be like, I don't think that happened. Or, oh, yeah. Or they'll have to be reminded. Because if you think about it, it's kind of like, on a really small sense, me trying to remember everything I've said in a video.
Right.
People will
just
remind
going to work.
me. Yeah, people remind me, Joleen, you said this, or send me a video, and I go, God, I don't remember that. I don't remember, which is scary, but I don't.
But yeah, when it's just our everyday life, like, why are we going to remember it?
When it's over, it's like, it's over. I don't go back and watch. It's over. So I imagine that's how the Friends cast. Plus, they were too busy cashing their checks and coming together as like a team. That's my favorite story about Friends is the fact that they came together as a cast and we're like, if one of us succeeds, we all succeed. So we're all going to rise up together because we all are the stars of the show. I think that's beautiful.
Yep. They said when we negotiate, we all make the same amount of money. Not one person is going to make more, which probably really saved like relationships.
Oh, for sure. Because you hear so many shows that broke up over money.
Yeah.
So, all right. Where are we at for time? Do you want to do another pop culture or do you want to get into some good news?
Yeah, I guess we should jump to good news since we are at that hour mark.
All right.
I have a story about a man named Gary Crothers, maybe.
Gary?
He sailed all by himself 4,000 miles in a sailed to make sure he got to his daughter's wedding during this pandemic. Okay, so he is in St. Martin with his sailboat. When the pandemic hits, he no longer can get flights home. He doesn't know how to get back. And so his boat usually takes a 2-man crew that I guess you hire and they sail for you. But because of the pandemic, not only can he not get flights home, he can't hire any crew. They're not available. Also, let me mention, he's 64 years old and he's only got one arm. He had an arm amputated in an accident like 10 years ago-ish, early 2000s. But he's got to get home to his daughter's wedding. So he sets sail all alone in his boat. It took him 37 days. He attached himself to the boat to make sure that he didn't fall overboard. And told the appropriate people who checked in, through, I don't know, sonar. I don't know anything about sailing.
Me neither.
But they were on communication. They were like, you still there? And he was like, I'm here. And by the time 37 days later, he showed up in Ireland, Derry, I believe is what it is, where he's from and where his daughter's getting married.
Derry. There's a show called Derry Girl. I think Derry Girls. Sorry.
Yeah, DERRY. Yeah. The whole town came out. I think the mayor was there. Everyone was there to welcome him. They gave him a Guinness immediately, and he drank it immediately. And he was really skinny. I don't know if he's always that skinny, but 37 days on canned food, I can only imagine. But he made it home.
Oh my gosh, look at this little guy. So there's Gary Crothers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, amputee home in Derry after transatlantic. So he just got there recently, right?
Yep. Yeah, it was in July that he made it home.
There's this little cutie. There's him with his family, his wife and daughters.
Yeah.
Waiting for him. Oh, Sarah, what a great story you picked. But yeah, looks like there's his pint that Sarah was saying.
He was like, I don't even think the Guinness hit the glass. He was like, it was down in 2 seconds. But I'm really fascinated with, coming up with travel options right now because my sister lives in North Carolina and I desperately need to see her and my niece. And so I think in my head, I'm really racking my brain on like, how do I get there without flying? So when I saw that he had to figure out something similar to get home, and how dangerous is it to be on a boat by yourself?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I feel you with that whole how to get to the family, because Chell and I miss my family so much. I mean, I need to see Nana face to face. I need to see my little niece and nephew. I need to see my dad. I need to see my brother. I need to see my sister-in-law. So we've talked about, we're going to revisit where we're at with the pandemic in October and maybe just drive to Minnesota. But I mean, that you take a risk there, but I'm just like, by then it'll almost be a year since I've seen like my niece and nephew in person. And I just never thought I'd go that long without seeing my favorite little people. So
yes.
Are you going to get on a ship, Sarah, and you and Douglas, you could leave and you could kind of go around?
I think I'd just get in a car and go straight.
Oh yeah, because you're not going to Florida. I'm not good at geography, I just realized. Okay, so
you could just go right across the country to North Carolina. I mean, you could sail around to Florida if you really wanted to, but first off, the fall's not the time to sail around. It's hurricane season. Don't be sailing down there at this time of year. But I do think that eventually, probably when Big Brother is over, I will tie Douglas up and throw him in the car and force him to drive across the country with me, because we gotta get there. We gotta see the fam.
I know it's so hard because we're trying to be so good, and my biggest fear is infecting my family or infecting someone along the way, being like asymptomatic or something, and I don't want it myself either. So it's just Rod has a good question. How did he go to the bathroom on the boat? Well, I assume there was like a toilet. No?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's one of those, it's not like a canoe. It's like a decent boat. So they probably have some sort of bathroom situation, but those details, I don't know.
Like Survivor, how they go potty. That's just kind of where we'll leave it at. He probably had to be very inventive. But man, this is that's quite the story. This little guy's so cute. I just keep staring at him. He's on my screen on the side. I'm just
He's so cute.
You always pick the best story, Sarah, with the cutest little guys.
I apparently have a thing for older men. I didn't know until now.
I didn't either. I don't have a romantic thing.
No,
because I always date younger for some reason. But
it's just like they're so cute, and you just want to be like, "Oh my god, you did it!"
I know, and he's not even old. He's like in the 60s.
No,
it's like we're acting like he's like 98. Like, how'd you do it? He's like, I'm 60. I'm fine.
Yeah.
But that's quite the feat. That'd be the feat for a 30-year-old person to do.
Right.
So that's amazing. I found something about Serena Williams because I just love Serena Williams, and I can't get enough of her. I can't get enough of her sister. I just find them to be just so strong and amazing and all the things. So Serena Williams, according to Pop Sugar, will help donate 4.5 million face masks to school throughout the U.S. because I don't know if you guys are seeing some of the pictures coming out of certain states, but Hype Man Husband Chell was telling me that there are schools out there, and I think he was saying maybe Georgia or something, like high schools where no one's wearing a mask. And you know how schools are, you're just like jammed in. It's a very scary time. So although it's unclear, according to this article, for some districts whether or not students will be learning in an actual classroom this year, Serena Williams is doing her part to ensure the kids that will be in school stay safe from COVID-19. The tennis pro and mom of one recently announced a partnership with Bella plus Canvas, the National School Board Association, and Scholastic, which will provide 4.25 million masks and various educational materials to 115,000 undeserved schools. Underserved, not undeserved.
I was like, well,
they don't deserve it. Underserved, Joleen.
Yes, that makes more sense.
I think I need to go back to one of these schools learn how to read here. Okay, so underserved schools throughout the US. Through the hashtag Masks for Kids program, schools can access affordable masks and educational materials quickly, she wrote in an Instagram post. In addition to donating 4.25 million masks, another mask will be donated for each one purchased by the schools. So she said she's grateful to help out and help educate our schools about this resource and be given the opportunity to serve so many students. It's these kind of times.
That's great.
Someone like Serena, here's the thing, no one has to do this stuff. No one has to, but the people that we look up to, whether it be our professional athletes or our, politicians, if we still look up to them, or our, any kind of people within show business or authors or whatever, when they choose to do good, it just is like that. Yes,
I know.
I'm so excited.
And it's so interesting because we really need that. We need people who are just, famous or in the limelight who are willing to help because, it does take a village, but the people in charge aren't always looking out for everybody. So thank goodness we have these people who do step up to the plate to help. And I am so grateful that I'm not a student right now and that I don't have children because this is such a messy time and I don't know what the right answer is and it just seems complicated. So best of luck to anyone going to school.
Yeah,
Boy.
Unfortunately, like Team Paul was saying here in the comments, a student was suspended from a Georgia high school. I think this is what my husband was telling me about, for posting a picture of her classmates jammed into a hallway with none of them wearing masks. And I think
she was suspended.
Yeah, there's a lot of backlash right now because it's
unfair.
Awful. It's so unfair because these students, people, Americans, humans across the globe deserve to be in the best, safest spot they can be during this pandemic. And they also deserve to have their leadership looking out for them. Unfortunately, like you said, we're not always seeing that. So it is up to us now to step up. And when you have the means, like someone like Serena Williams, that's a beautiful thing. I know I talked to my little niece, Lucy, and she's going to start first grade in the fall. And the state she lives in will most likely have classes. And so her mom bought her masks. And so she's getting used to like this mask life, and I'm always, whenever I talk to her, we talk a lot. And I always speak very highly, like it's going to be fun. You're going to be like a superhero. Everyone's going to have different masks. And she was, because at first she's like, yeah, I guess I have to wear a mask all day. Like they're kids, so they'll adapt. But she's like, I don't know what it's going to look like. Like she's curious, like what her mask is going to look like. Like what's it going to have on it? And I said, Auntie Joleen could get you a mask. She loves her dog Biscuit. He's a bulldog. She's so cute. The dog and my niece too. And I said, I could get you a mask with pictures of Biscuit all over it. She's like, you could, Joleen? I was like, I think Auntie might have to order that for you for school because you need options,
Right.
It's a new accessory. And
that's true.
How great, my niece is very lucky that she comes from a place where she can rely on like her auntie, her mom and dad, are able to provide these masks. But how great for Serena to remember that not
everyone
can get these, supplies that we now need. And so it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Serena Williams, I love you.
Yes. And my heart also goes out to the teachers because I know that teachers just get sick every time school starts. That's just a normal thing because you got so many kids with germs. You get the colds, you get the flus. So my best wishes go out to all the teachers and I hope that they stay as safe as possible.
I know. I wish we could get on the same page and maybe just say, you know what, this year we're just going to do another at-home schooling. And
I know, but what about the parents who have to work? Like there really is no right answer. It's so tough.
Yes, that's very true.
Yes, we want people healthy, but people also have to work. Like, I don't know what the answer is. It just seems messy. And thank goodness I'm not someone who has to make those decisions.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. It's easy for me to say, just let's all have the kids stay at home. But I also am not a parent and I have a job where I can work from home, where most of my friends I talk to have jobs now that have transitioned to home. But there's so many people out there that don't have work from home jobs. They still have to show up.
Right.
Essential workers. So.
Yeah, it's tough out there, you guys.
It is. It is. Well, we have come to the end of our Good Pop podcast. Episode 13, you guys. And I feel like, again, Therapy. I know I should probably pay a copay to you guys for this one especially, but I do appreciate this platform and being able to just talk with Sarah and share these stories, and then have you guys wonderfully in the chat talking to us too, and we're just spreading the little good news and celebrating humanity in a way, and also our favorite pop culture and celebrities.
Yeah, I mean, it boils down to the fact that we like pop culture, we like entertainment and celebrities, but we want to have this sort of balance of some positivity in our life. So yeah, thank you everyone who shares this time with us. Yes. We appreciate your support.
I'm so glad that when you texted me this morning and she did say quiz, and I was like, you had me at quiz, that I didn't say I was too tired to do it. And I'm glad that I feel like this is a really cool, safe place. I mean, I'd probably say it anywhere where I could admit that I was struggling and had some tears and Kleenexes before we even started. And Mama Bev is always here to make me feel normal. And there actually, I take that back, guys. There's no such thing as normal, so don't try to be normal. There's no such thing.
Don't try to be. I'm just as exhausted as you. It's very normal. It's just where we are at this time. I cried the other night at a Rizzoli and Isles episode.
What's
and
that?
Douglas it's just a cheesy procedural. It's an old show with Angie Harmon. It's a good show. They're cops and she's the medical examiner and whatever. It's a good old show, but it's like cheesy. It's not sad. And I was sobbing, and Douglas was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm so tired." Which actually, that's what McEfee said, but it's real. When I'm tired, I cry. That's real.
Right? It is like when Nicole Franzel said that on the feeds, I thought it was funny the way Enzo and Janelle, who are very different, were like, I've never heard that in my life. Yeah. And as I'm watching, I'm like, oh no, like that's all I do when I'm tired is cry. Like for sure. And also adding menstruation to the thing. And
perfect storm.
It's a perfect storm. So totally get it. Also, yes, always thank you to my mods. Always, always, always. Sarah's mods, my mods. I mean, you guys will never understand how much you help us and how appreciated you are. And I wish I could like hug you all and it wasn't, COVID. And Mama Bev is saying, let's get an RV. Mama Bev,
gonna happen.
Hex yeah. Hex yeah.
Probably gonna happen.
You guys head out.
We're going cross country. Let's
go. Country. I'll be heading up and over. You guys are heading middle and over, and we'll wave as we're going.
Yeah. We also have family in Minnesota though too. So maybe we'll do a
because Douglas, I always forget. I did actually call or text Sarah recently, or I think we were talking, and I was like, Sarah, you should move back to Minnesota, and then I'll move back to Minnesota, and then we can be Minnesota people. And Sarah was like, it's cold.
It is so cold there. Like you guys don't even know. The snow's there for like 8 months out of the year. I can't.
But it makes you hardy. Makes you a hardy person, Sarah.
I am fragile. I'm frail, fragile. No, not hardy.
All right. Well, before I do another long Midwestern goodbye, thank you, Sarah. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Thank you, mods. Thank you for the likes, guys. Feel free to share this out after it posts, and we will be back next Saturday with Good Pop episode 14. Exciting things. If you haven't already, rate, review us on iTunes. We appreciate it. Bye, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Bye.